is an autistic boy. He's 15 years old. He's been missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. And everybody has been looking for him. Everybody. He is 5 foot 5 inches tall. He weighs 120 pounds. Sandy blonde hair, and he wears glasses. And again, there is no footprint of him whatsoever.
You think back, and there might have been a reason he was possibly upset or something outside that could have enticed him to go outside. Was there anything that came to mind?
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. That morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving.
This boy, I've done told y'all, reminds me of my son that had autism, that is my third son. And he disappeared right down the road from part of where my family lives. And I take all of these cases serious. I am not playing about anything right now.
The original thinking was that Sebastian Rogers left home on his own, but the fact that he disappeared without a trace now has authorities looking into the very real possibility of foul play.
I'm not trying to accuse them of anything. I'm trying to tell you how suspicious they are now becoming.
Everywhere you go, you can hear the laughter. Little kids playing, chasing after. Innocence shines bright like a built-in light. With their giggles and smiles, everything feels right. Oh, the joy of little children filling up the air. Their happiness, contagious, nothing can compare. Just watch them run and play, carefree and wild. Oh, the joy of little children.
Hello again, everybody. Friday night, June 27th, 2025. How's everybody doing? Hello, Millie. Hi, Kentucky Life. Hello, Millie and Janice. Good to see y'all. Hello, Andrea, YouTuber, Hope Floats. Where's Summer and Sebastian? 1-800-TBI find. Hello, beautiful. My friend. Hello, show poodles. Me and you. Good to see everybody. Hello. Hey, Rogue. Hello. I am so glad to see everybody. Cinderella, Joanne, Carol Loves Embroidery. Hello, Robin Groom, Sharon Marlowe, Town Chat Cafe. Hello. I am so glad to see everybody. Me and you, Canadian True Crime. Hello. Well, it's a pleasure to have you all in here this evening. Sharon Marlowe. Hi. So I hope everybody's having a good Friday night. Great to see you all. All the green hearts. Love to see all those green hearts. Hey, Roxy D. Good to see you. So I hope everybody's doing good. Looks like I was gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Good evening, Smiley Mods and Chats. Hello. Welcome. I hope everybody is here and ready to go because we got some stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about if not a runaway, if not lost, could it be trafficking? I don't know. I just know that he did not run away. Just know he did not run away. It was kind of odd, though. I was sitting here doing this case, or not this, well, okay, let me back up. Let me back up. It must have been meant for me to talk about this tonight. Hey, Patty Allen. Because I was sitting here earlier today, and I was getting this live together, and something came across to me. And it was just kind of strange. It kind of gave me chills. And the person that sent me the information on something else and brought to my attention, it gave them chills too. They're like, wow. I was like, wow. Yeah. So it must have just been meant for me to talk about. Definitely not saying that's what happened to Sebastian or anything, but, you know, we're just going to bring it in the mix. But just to let you know, I was working on it before it came out that Seth sent me this little video a day or two ago. You know, I wasn't going to say that, but he did. That is the truth. And we're going to watch that tonight. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, let me just work on something about trafficking here. And as I was doing that, somebody sent me something about a lady that Craddock was, I guess, retiring from Sumner County. And they're like, who is this lady? And I'm like, they're like, all in my 60 years, I've never heard of this lady at Sumner County. And I'm like, me either, but let me look her up. Well, lo and behold, I looked her up. And I'm like, and I sent it back to this person, and I'm like, I guess she is kind of important, because she did have some very important cases in busting people in trafficking. Ain't that some crap? Hey, Karen. Everybody coming in? So it all kind of fits together. And I said, well, I don't know why they didn't give her much credit, but Smiley's going to give her credit. Credit is due. And so we're all going to put it together and talk about it tonight. And I have been noticing when Dog has put out some things about Sebastian the last few times. Have y'all noticed that it's been about trafficking? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So maybe it's just meant to talk about tonight. I don't know. But Misty and everybody, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I don't even know where to start. Maybe I'll just start with this video that Seth sent me the other day. I think he was just sending it just to show me or whatever. But I think we'll work that in. I think we'll do that. Let's get that in first and just kind of go over that. You know me, I'm never in order anyway. Let me give credit here to these people. Let's see here. This one. Okay. Y'all just bear with me. Share my screen.
Like a really close friend.
She's your girlfriend?
Because I just met her. That's way too soon.
Okay, I
Oh,
can't
did you
pull
meet
them
her?
over. I'm going to start it a little
2
bit
days
front.
ago.
2021. She look like her. Hey, I got a question for you. Is that you?
No, sir. That's
No.
his wife.
His wife? He's got condoms with their console.
I lied about who she was.
Yeah. This is going to work a whole lot easier if you quit lying to me.
Over 1,400 miles from home, a young girl is found hiding under a blanket during a routine traffic stop. Behind the wheel is a 32-year-old man who claims he just met her days earlier in Las Vegas. But when police start peeling back the story, they find lies, fake names, and the culmination of a shocking multi-state investigation.
You said she's 19.
I did the math wrong. I didn't know.
The following report is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before until now. Please note that all persons charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. Just as the sun is coming up in Navajo County, Arizona, a sheriff's deputy notices a black SUV headed eastbound on Interstate 40 with several items hanging from the rearview mirror. When he pulls up behind the vehicle, the driver instantly takes the next exit, at which point the deputy makes the stop, only to find that the driver is not alone.
How you doing? Good. I'm Smith. I'm with the Navajo County Sheriff's Office. The reason I pulled you over, you have all those things hanging from your rearview mirror. That's an obstruction of view from the roadway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Who's hiding under the blanket? Huh? Well, can I have you put the blanket down just so I know that there's not a gun or nothing under there?
There's nothing. It's passed out.
She all right?
Yeah. You ready? Just thinking.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the car hiding?
No, just two dogs.
2 dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get your driver's license, your
Oh,
registration, and
wow,
your insurance?
Schnoodles.
Can I have her keep this blanket down? I don't know if there's like a weapon or anything underneath there.
I promise. She's just passed out.
Just passed out?
Yeah, it's just it's early evening, so
Okay. Can I get her ID?
she doesn't.
What's her name? Daisy? Daisy what? And birthday?
2007.
It's just the trafficking thing, Tina. We're going to talk about that
2007?
tonight.
Daisy Garcia Guzman? Okay. All right. Can I have you come on back? I'll give you a written warning.
The driver, Raul Alexis Arellano Romero, is patted down and taken to sit in the deputy's front seat, but it's the identity of his female passenger that will turn this routine traffic stop into a morning of mystery.
You're not gonna lock me in here.
You got a handle. How's your day going so far?
Pretty good, not too bad. A little tired, but not too bad.
Gotcha. Where you coming from?
I'm originally from Puerto Rico,
did
actually.
get you
Or where you
said.
coming from?
Oh, right now? Oh, from.
Hey, Seth.
So I traveled to Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on my way back home to New Mexico.
Gotcha. So you don't live in Alabama anymore?
No, I don't.
That's not how you get to New Mexico.
It's well, I had to kind of stop a little bit because it's starting to get tired. So I thought I could find somewhere here, but I guess there's nothing here.
Hmm.
Thought that was possibly a gas station. That doesn't look like one.
Yeah, you just passed like a dozen of them,
It
actually.
is the one
I
you
did for
sent.
real?
Yeah.
I feel
It sure
very
is.
weird
It
being
is
in your car. No,
crazy.
I'm not gonna lie.
What is that? Would you rather stand out in the cold?
I mean, I could have just stayed in the car. It's just kind of weird. I've never been invited into it.
Consider it your first time.
Yeah.
Where's Daisy from? Alabama or New Mexico?
I think she's from New Mexico, if I remember correctly. Yes.
She's your girlfriend?
No, she's not.
Who is she?
Just a friend, like a really close friend. Nothing like that.
How old is she?
19.
The deputy has noticed Raul's nervousness, writing in his report that his hands were shaking as he handed over his license. He decides to dig a little deeper into Raul's story.
So she's 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You said she didn't have an ID on her.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think she has one. I don't think she's ever gotten one yet.
Not even an ID?
Not that I know of. I mean, she hasn't shown me or talked to me about one, so I really don't know.
How long ago did you meet her?
About 2 days ago, something like that.
Where'd you meet her at?
Vegas.
You were just taking her home?
Nah, kind of. Not really like that. She just said that she's never been to New Mexico, and I told her, I'm like, well, it's really flat land, so thought we'd go and see it
I
together.
thought you said she was your girlfriend.
I never said she was.
Okay. Must have been a misunderstanding.
No, I know. I never said she was. I just met her. That's way too soon. Just been kind of getting to know her, I guess.
With Raul's answers not quite lining
I'm
up,
so
the
sorry,
deputy calls
Seth.
for backup.
So what are you planning on doing with her?
Nothing. Just she wanted to go to New Mexico, so she asked for a drive. That's why I think she's like a drifter or something. Or a nomad.
We got a problem with human smuggling going on.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what human smuggling is?
English isn't my first language, so
You speak very good English.
I know,
You know
I know I do, but
Okay.
smuggling sounds like
I was not born yesterday. You know what human smuggling, human trafficking is?
human trafficking, yes.
Okay.
But
There's a little
human-
bit of a difference. So human smuggling would be hiding an individual that's not from this country, bringing them across and taking
Okay.
them somewhere to another state.
Gotcha.
Like you met a female 2 days ago.
Yeah,
You're taking her to another state.
I gotcha. But
And you don't really know anything about her.
yeah, I see what you mean. Do I really look like the smuggling type?
Anybody can be a smuggler.
That's valid.
We've got grandmas, we got grandpas, we got
Oh no,
everybody.
that's just crazy.
I can tell you that as soon as I get behind you, you jump off the interstate and you go to a dead end road saying that you're going to New Mexico. It doesn't help.
Oh, that's fair. Well, I mean, I'm not from here.
To get to the bottom of things, the deputy turns to the girl for answers.
Do you have an ID on you, Daisy? And what's your last name?
Guzman.
Okay. What are you doing with him?
Just going to some family.
When did you meet him?
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Couple years.
Okay.
As a canine unit arrives on scene, the police gather Daisy and Raul together so the drug dog can sniff the vehicle. The deputy takes the opportunity to again ask a question he's gotten 2 different answers to.
How old are you, Daisy?
I'm 17.
You're
I thought
17.
you were 19.
2007.
2007.
With the internet.
Oh, well, I did the math wrong.
With that odd excuse hanging in the air, the canine deputy comes back with news that adds yet another wrinkle to this traffic stop.
All right, y'all. So my canine's trained to detect 4 odors, okay? Cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl. You indicate a positive alert to the vehicle. Having said that, have you guys been in contact with any of those drugs?
Like with any no.
No,
Maybe
like no
weed,
one.
but
He is alert to weed, man.
okay, well,
No one's smoked any meth. No,
No,
friends in
don't.
Vegas messing around with
I
anything.
don't. No, and I didn't really have anybody in the car much, so
Okay.
Not much.
My canine alert to the vehicle in the state of Arizona gives us probable cause to search the vehicle, okay? So we are going to be searching the vehicle. You guys are saying we're not going to find anything? No tutors, no paraphernalia, nothing like that?
nothing.
Okay.
As they prepare to search the car, Daisy and Raul are separated once more.
Daisy, can you come here real quick?
Maybe at most.
Can I search you real quick?
Like, weed, but nothing like crazy
Okay.
or anything like that.
You got nothing on you? I'm going to have you sit in the front seat of my car, okay? Before anybody goes in here without me in there, I got to put you in handcuffs, okay? Just so you don't grab any of my stuff. Just go ahead and put them behind your back.
Wait, why?
She's just detained right now.
Because I'm not going to be in here to watch her. She's just going to sit in my vehicle. I don't need anyone going through my computer.
Oh, okay.
As they begin the search, the deputies discuss the growing discrepancies in the pair's stories.
So she's hiding under this.
Yeah.
And like I pull it up, she looks young. He says she's 19 and they met 2 days ago. She says they met a long time ago and that she's 17.
Okay.
And they met in Vegas and he's taking her home to New Mexico. Or to New
LPR's
Mexico.
have him in Idaho, and he said he only went to Vegas.
Interesting.
He's got knives all over the
And I'm
place.
gonna be going to
I
bed.
definitely CCH. She has no
Cover
luggage in the car.
behind under there.
Oh, there's the weed.
But at the moment, the deputies are more interested in finding out the truth behind Daisy and Raul's situation than what they found in the SUV.
Now that you're not next to him, have you seen him use any drugs over the past couple days?
No, sir.
No. And how old are you?
17.
Okay, so did you get him a fake ID?
No, sir.
Did you give him a fake name and date of birth?
No, sir.
So why does the date of birth that he ran come back to someone who's 19? You don't know? Okay, how long have you known him?
Multiple years.
Multiple years? Okay. And how old is he? Not sure. Do you know his full name?
Raul Alexis Arias.
Okay. Is that your boyfriend or no, just a friend?
We're kind of like family.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a personal question. It's up to you if you want to answer. Have you guys had any kind of sexual contact or that? No? Okay.
The cops note that a fake tattoo on Daisy's neck is wearing off, giving them more reason to suspect that she might be younger than she's letting on. Meanwhile, the other deputy turns up the heat on Raul.
Can you relay exactly what happened this weekend
What do you mean?
with her and your travel plans and everything like that?
Why?
Because it's not adding up. I've talked to her, talked to you. I'm getting two different stories. I just want to figure out what actually happened so that we can go on from there.
Okay, what did she say?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Stupid.
I feel weird answering. I just told you what I told you what happened.
So you met her 2 days ago.
Yes.
You went to Vegas. You met her 2 days ago.
Yes. Well, two. Yeah.
You said
2
she's
days ago.
19. She's 17.
I did the math wrong. I didn't know.
And what are your plans with her? Because it
Nothing.
doesn't make sense that you're going to take her to New Mexico, but you're not going to take her home.
I travel. No, I am taking her back. I travel a lot, so I just going to New Mexico for a little bit. I'm gonna see my mom. My dog just died. One of my dogs just died, or my mom's dog just.
Well, what are you going to do with her? You said you're not taking her to your mom.
Not like to stay. Not like that. No, she's gonna get a hotel. I'm guessing. I really don't know.
With what money?
I didn't really think about that. To be honest, I guess with mine. Anyways, at this point, I feel like I need a lawyer because I'm feeling a little harassed. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not being harassed. You're detained.
I know,
at this
but
point. Okay, you're gonna go in the back of one of these cars.
seems a little sketchy. So I'm saying
You'll be fine.
started off with.
You'll be fine.
Sure. I'm not from here. I don't know how this place works, and I know some places.
I can tell you that if you're taking a 17-year-old girl across state lines and you don't know any of that information, you go to Vegas, you pick her up. Everything that I've seen so far, obviously you're detained. Okay.
The deputy will soon discover the truth behind Daisy's identity, but it will take some work to get past what he believes is possibly Raul's coaching.
All right, easy. So I've got a bunch of questions because this isn't really making sense to me. Okay. Are you from California?
No, sir.
Where are you from?
Right where I was born.
Like where are you living right now?
What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
Just be honest with me, please, because we will figure out everything, okay? Just please be honest with me so that it's not any more confusing than it needs to be. Can I get your real name? We're going to get a fingerprint scanner here. We're going to get a fingerprint scanner here.
Do I have to do it?
What?
Do I have to do it?
Yeah, we're going to get your identity. Okay. So I'm going to need your full name. Here's the thing, Daisy, or whatever your name is. You're not in trouble right now. We are the police. We're here to help you. We're not here to get him in trouble, but you're 17 years old. I cannot let you go with him from here on. Okay. So we need to figure out who you are and where we can help you go. What's your name?
Daisy.
No, tell me your real name.
Daisy.
Okay, how do you spell it? Here's the thing. If you lie about your name, you're going to jail. And we will figure it out. We've got facial recognition and the fingerprint scanner. Okay. So I'm going to give you, this is your last chance to give me a truthful identification. You're going to have to give me a true name and a date of birth. Otherwise you go to jail. Okay.
At last, the girl admits to the deputy that she's not a 17-year-old nomad, but rather a 13-year-old from the opposite side of the country.
You can cancel the facial rec and fingerprint scanner. Located the 101. She's a missing juvenile out of Alabama.
Daisy's real name turns out to be Dayetzi Pizarro, listed as missing on a bulletin from the Marshall County, Alabama Sheriff's Office on April 19th, 11 days earlier. It's far from the last twist in this rapidly intensifying case.
What grade are you in?
8.
How long ago did you run away?
Like a week ago.
Okay, and what are you doing with him?
Huh?
What are you doing with him?
I'm just traveling.
The alert out of Alabama about Dayetzi also lists a person of interest, none other than 32-year-old Raul Alexis Arellano Romero.
Right now, you're detained because you lied about who she was. Okay?
I lied about who she was?
Yeah. You've known her longer than 2 days. You've been traveling with her for longer than that. You lived in Alabama, right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you leave Alabama?
Wow, a while ago.
How long is a while ago, man?
Like a while.
Like years?
Months. Like months. Like we're talking about maybe 8 months.
Okay.
Almost a year.
2021. Still live at her?
I don't know.
Hey, I got a question for you. Is that you?
No, sir. That's
No.
his wife.
His wife?
Yeah.
Okay. It's his wife. So has she been with you ever since you left Alabama?
No.
Okay, so when did you pick her up?
Like 2-3 days ago.
I know. See, dude, this is gonna work a whole lot easier if you quit lying to me. Okay? I know you're lying to me, bro. We already know that you've been with her for longer than 2 days. So are you gonna tell me how long you've been with her?
Wait, what makes you think that you know that I've been with her?
I'm done with talking with you. Sit in that car. I've already talked to her. I got all the information that I need.
But when the deputies get on the phone with authorities in Alabama, they learn that there's still much more to uncover in this disturbing case.
It looks like it says she left around like in the morning while the family was asleep. It looks like it was from 7/28/2024. Exhaust call. And she was reported missing.
It turns out that this is actually the second time Raul has been accused of taking the girl on an unauthorized road trip, and the deputy gets on the phone with authorities in Massachusetts to learn more about a pending case from last year.
Wow.
So we had a kidnapping case here in Massachusetts back in, I believe it was in July. He drove all the way over here and picked this child up who was here. She was here on vacation with her mom, her biological mom. He came here and picked her up and took her out of state lines. We were able, through with help with the state police, we were able to find them out in like Virginia somewhere, and he was arrested. He was in prison for some time. His case is actually coming up soon. Where I was just on the phone with the DA. I was not aware that she was on the run again with him.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys found her. Thank you guys. Well, I'll be in touch. Give me a little bit of time. I'm gonna be in touch with her parents as well as the DA's office here, and I'll call you guys back.
Raul is transported to the Navajo County Sheriff's Office for questioning, while Dayetzi is taken to the Family Advocacy Center in Sholo to be given a forensic interview.
I know it may seem like it, but you're still not in trouble, okay? We're not charging you with anything. They're probably going to have to arrange for a way to get you back home, and I don't know what your relationship is with your parents, but maybe get you in contact with them, if that's what you want.
In her interview, Dayetzi says she met Raul 2 years ago through her older brother. They began communicating through online games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, where she told him that she wanted to take a trip to Vegas. He picked her up outside her house, and they stayed the night in Tennessee and Montana before finally arriving at a hotel in Henderson, Nevada. She insists that they slept in separate beds and had no intimate contact, and while some items of interest were found in Raul's vehicle.
He's detained right now because he's in the prison. He's got condoms in the center console. He's talking to her still.
No charges regarding a physical relationship have been filed. Meanwhile, at the sheriff's office, Raul is less than cooperative with the detectives.
Wow.
We've been talking to Dave. We've been getting all the information she has. So we've talked to her, and now we want your side of the story. I want to hear from you, right? What's going on? So, can you start where at the beginning?
Honestly, I have nothing to say.
What do you mean by that?
Yep.
Exactly that.
And there's no telling how many times he's done that.
Meaning of nothing to say. I don't feel comfortable enough talking to you guys, especially after all of this. This was just a stop because I had stuff hanging on my my mirror, like, the mirror to look in the back. And then it went for, all of a sudden it turned into like they were checking to see if my car had drugs, and it got completely blown out of proportion. So I don't feel confident enough for any of you guys, to be honest.
With Raul unwilling to talk, the detective reveals what comes next.
I don't know if they told you there, but there was a warrant for your arrest for kidnapping, nationwide extradition. So you will be booked into the Navajo County Jail that you went to earlier for that warrant, okay?
Raul Alexis Arellano Romero was transported back to Alabama the next day, where he was charged with interference with custody. Arellano Romero's case remains open and ongoing. If you'd like to see select new videos early and help us keep uncovering case files that rarely come to light, you'll find extra footage and unseen details on our Patreon. Channel memberships here on YouTube also include early access to select new videos.
I don't even know what to say to this. This is like, There's no telling how many times he's done this before, in my opinion. And this goes on all the time. It is creepy. You're right. It's creepy and it's scary. And it goes on more than you think. And I want y'all to know that Tennessee continues to see this all the time. I want to bring up Tennessee because it's what I chose. Tennessee is bad for sex trafficking, human trafficking, and especially involving minors through coordinated operations. There's a lot going on there. It's easy to think of human trafficking as something far away, happening in secret. You know, people used to say trafficking and human trafficking, and even as adults, some people don't even know or understand what it is. Hey, Daniel Berry, Sports Highlight. Hello, hello. And they don't fully understand it. And they can even hear it now on here and don't understand it. Well, guess what? We're going to get into it tonight. I think by the time you leave here, you're going to understand it a little bit better anyway. As hard as some things are to talk about, I don't think we can ignore it anymore. I really don't. The reality is it's happening everywhere. Everywhere in all the states and all the countries. But the most painful question is still why. Let's see what Seth said here. Tennessee has always been a gun for sex, human, and drug trafficking, mainly because of all the interstate. Yep, that's what I was fixing to say. Absolutely. See, people look at, especially if they're on the computer and they don't realize, Seth, and that's true. See, I had to get on to people here the other day. I said, please don't, especially if you were in Summer's case, stop thinking Sumner County, and Seth can attest to this. Please stop thinking Sumner County is like Hawkins County, because it's nothing like it. It's not. Hey, BMW Coupe again. Hello, hello. It's not. It's nothing like it. Hey, Barbara. Hello, hello. Oh, thank you. Yes, and Barbara can tell you as well. It's absolutely nothing like it. There's interstates all around. You can go right down the road from where Sebastian disappeared. In fact, there's 2 or 3 interstates right there. Madison, Goodlettsville, right there at Gallatin, everywhere. You can jump on the interstate and be anywhere. Unlike Hawkins County. Stop comparing them. They're not the same. They're absolutely not the same. But it's easy to think of human trafficking as something far away, happening in secret, you know. But the reality is it's happening everywhere. And even here, even now. And the most painful question, like I said, is why? Why does human trafficking exist, and how is it still happening in 2025 right under our noses? Well, tonight we're not just talking about statistics. We're going to talk about the root causes. And one of the root causes is, as my friend right there says, Sebastian and Summer, the root cause of all evil is bingo, money. It's the money, follow the money, the power, the vulnerability, and how sadly human beings have become the product in the eyes of, that's right, Seth, have become the eyes of all these traffickers. I invite you all to stay here and learn and ask questions as we dive deep into this. And if you have a story, if you have opinions, go ahead, say them. This affects us all, whether we realize it or not. So let's jump into it. This is a $150 billion industry. That's right. Hey, Be Great 88. Traffickers earn more from selling people than they do drugs or pew-pews in some cases. A person can be exploited repeatedly over and over and over again, making them more valuable to criminals. It's sickening. It's sickening. But there's a demand for it, and it needs to be stopped. Yep, there's human beings, there's rings, it's unbelievable. There's a demand for sex trafficking. Yeah, it's just another form of slavery. That's right. There's the pornography, prostitution, labor markets, the child stuff, trafficking, demands, and it's globally all over the United States and beyond. And guess what? The perfect victims, and they are victims, are the runaways, the foster kids, the homeless individuals, immigrants, all of those who are in poverty. They target all of those. People with addiction, mental illness, the ones that come from the broken homes, all of those increase for demand. They're all susceptible. All of them. That's who they target. And they know. People know. And in some cases, in some towns or regions or whatever you want to call them, the officials, the uppers, the cops, whatever you want to call them, they're bribed with that good old money. They're bribed to look the other way. Now, not all of them. Not everybody's bad. But they are some officials who are just bribed to turn the other cheek and look the other way. And that's sad. Right, Seth. Wood chippers will be the punishment. Slowly. Even in the United States, there's gaps and legal loopholes. You know. Now, today, this is what I was talking about earlier. When I was trying to get this together, it was sent to me, and I saw where Sumner County Craddock was honoring Detective Lisa Byington, and I guess she was retiring. Me and that other person went, who is she? And the other person goes, I never heard of her in my 60 years, and I live in this county. Well, fair's fair. I was doing this and I was like, well, let me look her up and see. They didn't tell me to, but I did. So I looked her up and I'm like, well, damn. She was very important. Because I never heard of her either. But why did they keep her a secret? Yeah, she was. Oh, okay. So see, I didn't even know that, Seth. So, but she's the one that pushed the arrest of Bullhorn. They didn't keep her hush hush then, though, did they, Seth? Well, but she was very important. She was very important when she played a part in getting involved in several notable cases as far as trafficking stings, though. So that's where I want to give her credit. But why did Sumner County not want to give her as much credit there? Oh, but they did want to give her credit in the Bullhorn Betty. So, sorry. I ain't trying to be praising her on that because that was bullshit. That was bullshit. We'll all agree on that. That was, see, I'll just keep it at that. Yeah, that's what Seth said, Patty. So I don't agree in that. Maybe that's where a little bit of money tips the hand. But anyway, but I do want to give her credit where credit is due, and that is for the busting of the human trafficking sting operations, and I guess one murder investigation. And that was in a Channel 5 Nashville article for February 22nd. So I was just wondering, there was 13 jailed in human trafficking sting in Sumner County. Don't remember hearing about that. There was 13 men arrested after responding to a fake advertisement offering teenagers for sex. She also worked a case where 3 men were charged with first-degree murder in a fatal shooting, and her affidavit was cited in the search warrant related to that case, according to the Tennessean. And that was a gang enforcer fatal Sumner County shooting. So I don't know why she wasn't very notable, but I guess she got notable when she did that to Bullhorn Betty. So Seth is saying she violated the Constitution of the U.S. and failed her sworn duty and the oath that she took, which in my opinion calls everything she has ever touched as suspicious. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Maybe that's why we had never heard of her, though. I don't know. I'm just saying, Seth, I've never heard of her. I just looked her up today, so I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know who she was. I honestly didn't. So, I'm just reading what they said she did. But so that's all I see she really did anyway. That's all I really see. Yeah. I would be pissed too, though, because she didn't do right by Bullhorn Betty, to be honest. And I can vouch for that. That's just a bunch of crap. But I didn't know who she was. Wait till I tell that person that. Yeah. Anyway. But this is how traffickers, let's get back to that, how traffickers operate. Okay, so in case, y'all didn't know, and the ones that don't know, the social media gaming platforms and apps used to recruit and groom these victims. And these dark webs, trafficking operations internationally, the displaced populations become prime targets, conflict zones, refugee camps, and are real hotbeds. Hey, Sergeant King, they're real hotbeds for traffickers. Now, how traffickers operate, They're grooming. They're grooming all the time, and false job offers. And also, they do this romantic manipulation bullcrap. They also do the fake modeling agencies, these travel scams. You see them on these sugar daddy sites, all these scheming sites. Now, most victims are always tricked. Tennessee consistently ranks high for the most reported trafficking cases because, like we were speaking of a while ago, Seth said it, Barbara said it, I said it. It's major interstates like I-40 and I-65 that are known trafficking corridors. Hey, Lorraine Law, hello. And interstates there, I mean, you jump on the interstate anywhere you go there. Yeah, that's right, where summer. And if strangers are giving you a lot of attention, run. Run, run, run. And if something sounds too good to be true, 99.9% it probably is. And there's nothing free in life. It's just not. You know, you got Nashville, Memphis, Knoxville. They all have plenty of documented operations going on with trafficking. It's out there. You may not know it, but it's there and it's well documented. Memphis, oh my God. Memphis is bad. I'm not sure which one's the word. I think Memphis, but between Nashville and Memphis, I don't know. Memphis is probably tops Nashville. I may be wrong. That's just my thoughts. But you need to learn the signs. The signs are isolation, and these are what I'm talking about, people. Isolation, bruising, scripted speech. If people act fearful, you know, sometimes they may support certain organizations. You know, you need to protect the vulnerable. I know, Summer Rain, my oldest granddaughter moved there and lives there, and I worry about her. Oh my God, I worry about her so bad. Hell, Memphis was bad 30 years ago, and I have friends there, and I am telling you what, I'm just saying, I wouldn't live there for nothing. The first step in fighting human trafficking is facing the hard truth of why it exists. And that means holding, you know, ourselves and our community and even our leaders accountable. Because it thrives in silence. But together we can make noise. We can educate people. We can protect, and we can demand change. We can. We don't need to turn away. We need to educate, because a lot of people don't know and they don't understand. I know. Right, Sergeant King. You and me both. Honey, you and me both. I am serious about that. No way. You know, some of the behavioral red flags for people because a lot of people don't know. Hey, Selena, is they appear fearful and anxious, submissive. Some of them even appear paranoid. You know, some people might think people's crazy, but they're not crazy. Maybe it's just, you know, look at all what went on with Diddy and all that. You know, they may avoid eye contact or social interaction with authorities. They may seem coached, and maybe they are coached on what to say. Look at that girl in the Runaway in that video we just watched. They give rehearsed answers because maybe they're brainwashed. You know, they cannot speak for themselves. Someone else controls the conversations. Seems unusually attached. Maybe they're controlled by an individual. Maybe it's their girlfriend or boyfriend or their boss. Someone changes their behavior or their appearance. Other red flags are signs of physical abuse. Maybe they got burns on them. Yeah, there's high school kids going to school with your kids who are being trafficked, and there's friends who don't even know it. That's true. That is true. Maybe they're malnourished. They look neglected. And look, some people has the video you played, Smiley, she went with him before and she had upcoming court about that incident. Yeah, that's what they said. They're preyed upon. And some people have tattoos, and they make them get tattoos almost like a cult. They have untreated medical or dental. They may have injuries. You know, they may just be sick. They may have not the proper clothes, you know, or just be, you know, have too hot of clothes, too cold of clothes, not a jacket, not enough. May, you know, not for the proper weather, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They can't control their own money or ID or their documents. Maybe they need a passport and somebody else has got control of their birth certificates and stuff like that, social security cards. They work long hours. They may be in fear of discussing what their living situation is or their work situations. You know, somebody may be transporting them to and from work. They can't get their own way around. You know, somebody's always watching them, in other words, I guess. They get very little freedom. You know, as far as children or teens, I would say, like this girl right here we saw in the video, they have older boyfriends or friends. I'm not saying that was really her boyfriend, but you may see with teens or something like that, they have older boyfriends or girlfriends, or more than likely it's going to be boyfriends. Oh, Sharon, thank you so much. Hold on, let's see what you said. They're not leaders. They're voted reps, and we can vote them out if they will not hear us. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to vote. Don't think your vote don't count. You may not win the election, but it's very important to get up, get dressed, and go vote. It really is. Your voice needs to be heard. It's so important. And thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. And if it's a child also, if they come home with unexplained expensive items, you better be trying to find out where they got those. I would want to know anyway. I would definitely want to know. If there's frequent runaway incidents or unexplained absences, wouldn't you want to know that? Now, Sebastian, he was not a runaway. I'm just going to tell y'all, he did not run away. Nor did he was not an eloper. But there's kids out there who do run away for many different reasons. You know, if there's signs of sexual exploitation, pregnancy, STDs, you got to watch for that. If these kids are withdrawn, depressed, or you see changes in their school performances, these are all red flags. And if they're online, I say be nosy. They don't need to be buckled up where you can't get in there. You know, their profiles with suggestive pictures, or, you know, older men or people contacting them, or there's a large increase in social media activity with these unknown adults. They have no business contacting your children or your teens, or vice versa. Go into their history. You know, if they start talking about modeling and work opportunities or travel offers from strangers, holy shit, that's a big red flag. You know, if they disappear after being online, you know, after conversations, you better be worried. You better be checking into it. Victims don't self-identify as trafficked. They probably don't even know what that means. And if there's threats or fear of threats or manipulation, that keeps them silent. If something feels off, please trust your instincts. Report those concerns. You know, how you can help or be helpful if we think someone's being hurt, abused, or being in a human trafficking situation. Do not approach the suspect or trafficker yourself. That would be the wrong thing to do. If you confront them, that can be deadly or dangerous for you and the victim. Because traffickers often use violence, threats, manipulation, and it can go bad real quick. You need to observe, document any details, locations, exact addresses if possible. You need descriptions of the people or person. You need to get the car, make, model, color, license plates, pictures, time, date, whatever suspicions you have, photos, anything that could help that's unusual or concerning, a person's physical description, how tall, how weight, whatever, and you need to report it. Don't sit on it. Okay? Report it. Call 911. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline. They're open 24/7 if you feel like you're not getting anywhere with Ellie. Yes, Andrea, they are preyed upon. There's a text you can dial. It's called, I don't know who would ever remember the number, 233-7333. But anyway, you can remember the letters to it. It's called Be Free, BEFREE, which goes to 233-7333. Just be free. Or you can call the hotline at 1-888-373-7888 if somebody wants to drop that, 24/7, and it's all confidential. In Tennessee, of course, you can call the TBI 1-800-TBI-FINE or 911. But look, if it's anything related to trafficking, make sure you tell them it has to do with trafficking. I don't care who you call. That's important. It's important that they know that and it's not brushed off. Now, support the victim if it's safe and appropriate. You know, if you're with the victim or it's safe and appropriate to do so, offer them resources with no judgment whatsoever. Provide them discreetly with the same hotline number and let them know help does exist. Do not pressure them to talk. Don't put fear in them. Don't make them have any more trauma than's already, they're already traumatized. Don't try to control them because they're already being controlled. Just offer small gestures of kindness to them. You can raise awareness. You can advocate. And you can share any educational materials or anything you can get your hands on in your community, because everybody needs to know about this and be aware about this. Talk about it. Talk about it to your friends and to your family, because again, a lot of people don't understand it. Silence does nothing but help traffickers. You don't need to be an expert. And you don't need to be a hero. You just need to help. You just need to notice. And you just need to report. Speaking up can literally save a life. It starts with awareness and it starts with courage. This is not something you can sweep under a rug or report. Again, there's different kinds of trafficking. You know, on an average age, girls are usually 12 to 14 years old. Boys is usually 11 to 13, but there's really no set age. Victims usually can start as young as infants, and that's really sad. Extreme abuse cases, you know, have went on to an adult. Adults can be trafficked, and many were groomed as minors. Labor trafficking can begin as young as 5 years old, 7 years old. In the U.S., teenagers 14 to 17 are most common targets to be forced into labor, especially in, work and hospitality and all that. Adults facing poverty, homelessness, undocumented statuses are at very high risk. But the younger the victim, the easier it is for traffickers to manipulate, groom, and control them. So making early teens and children prime targets is what happens. And the likelihood of human trafficking predators getting caught is unfortunately very, very low. You know, and that depends on several factors. You know, the likelihood of traffickers getting caught, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but it's less than 1% that are ever arrested or convicted, and that needs to change. The U.S. arrest rates are slightly, due to undercover, when people go undercover with their undercover operations, but many still avoid capture, and most of those are due to the online things. So that's sad, y'all, because victims are often too afraid to report them because of threats and fear. Some people are illegals and they're afraid they're going to get deported. You know, they use fake identities and they constantly move these victims, and it's not as hard as you think for people to get fake IDs and change people's identity. That's what a lot of people worry about Sebastian. Has his name been changed? Is this happening to him? And then there's a lot of corruption and lack of resources. Technology makes it easy to recruit and exploit victims anonymously. That's crazy. So how do traffickers get caught? Again, it's the undercover sting operations. That's the most common. It's victims escape and they report them, themselves, or, they escape. And then public tips. So you got to report. If you see something, say something. Digital forensics, tracking online ads, text messaging, GPS, airport borders, investigations. Tennessee and other states have increased task force focused just on this. And more survivors are speaking out. They're starting to speak out. And that's leading to a higher arrest rate. But the bottom line is, while many predators still slip through the cracks, community awareness and public reporting, that has to keep on so these people can be caught. It's very imperative. Again, we got to keep speaking up. If we see something, say something. Now, the question is, could Sebastian have been trafficked? I don't know. It's possible. I hope not. I don't want to think he's hurt in any way, shape, or form. But it's more common than people realize in Tennessee. Tennessee has a documented, a whole documented thing and issues with both sex and labor trafficking, especially along those major highways near Hendersonville. Could it be possible in this case? Sure. Sudden, unexplained disappearance. He vanished without a trace, allegedly on foot, allegedly barefoot, only took his glasses, yet no confirmed sighting since. That's highly unusual. But again, where's the proof he walked out that door? Did Katie stop and trade him off somewhere on the way home? Was those lights? Did somebody come get him? I don't know. Somebody knows. I think his mother knows. What happened to him? Strange details, reports that law enforcement's, were so slow to escalate things, lack of Amber Alerts, timing, concerns some people. No confirmed evidence of him leaving voluntarily. There have been rumors and concerns raised about dysfunction in the home. That environment can create vulnerability for predators to exploit, whether that's, direct sale, grooming, or abduction. I'm just saying. And Tennessee's trafficking history, and people knows people in that family. I'm just saying. What in the hell is going on that nobody can find a trace of Sebastian? Where did Katie go that morning? It's just strange. Everything has to be looked at. And don't think it's gone unnoticed that everything that Dog has put out recently has hinted towards trafficking, because I sure hadn't not noticed it. Look, if this happened, how? Trafficking don't always mean strangers snatching a child in a van. Sadly, family-involved trafficking is real. Where parents, guardians, acquaintances are involved, selling, trading, handing over children, online connections. But in Sebastian's case, there's no clear public evidence of him, arranging to meet someone or anything. Signs that raise questions about trafficking here is law enforcement's lack of transparency, limited updates, unusual silence fuel speculations, community members reporting hearing audio but no video of Sebastian the day he vanished, raising red flags. His clothing description, all black, barefoot, feels odd and incomplete. If law enforcement has not ruled out trafficking, then silence itself speaks volumes. What could make this less likely? To be fair, no known reports of trafficking rings directly tied to Sebastian's case have been confirmed. Sometimes cases like this are runaways or involve different foul play entirely. So how about this? Law enforcement might have evidence they're holding close, but not all silence means corruption. But there is, in my opinion, a lot of corruption going on. That's just me, though. I know you've seen how shady things can look, in my opinion, in Sumner County. Everybody don't feel like that, though. So, how about this? How about anybody who suspects trafficking? Why don't you ask Sumner County, since we're writing all the letters and stuff, how about we ask them this? Have you ruled out trafficking? Are you investigating trafficking? Just curious. I'd like to ask Craddock, has the possibility of human trafficking been thoroughly investigated in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, given Tennessee's history as a trafficking corridor and the concerning circumstances of his vanishing? Because the public deserves clear answers. Was Sebastian known to ever be at risk? And has the FBI Human Trafficking Task Force been consulted about any of this? And has online family and community connections been screened for trafficking links? I think that's a pretty damn good question. And Craddock, what evidence exists to rule out trafficking, if any? That's really what I want to know. I think people need to keep raising public awareness. I think anything's possible. I think anything's possible. That's really all I really got tonight. Oh, my thing stopped here. Traffic issues. That's right. Absolutely. I didn't realize I thought y'all stopped on purpose. Sorry, y'all. I didn't know I was way behind. Yeah, it's within the home. Absolutely. Let me see what y'all got. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you can't, but you can't hover over your children too much because that's not good. That's when they want to actually go hog wild if you hover over them too much. You're right about that. I'm sorry I was behind, y'all. Hey, Nana. Let's see. What's a new tip from PI on Summer's case? Do you know? I don't know, honey. I didn't see that. I have not seen that, Nana. Yes, absolutely they do. Unfortunately, they do. And that's the sad part. Absolutely. No, I'm sorry. I was behind. I didn't know my chat stopped. I believe that let's see. I believe that someone shady who rhymes with AK-80 Train Sebastian's name got. Yes, and that's what I was saying too. And I'm sorry, I'm behind where summer. It's easy to get these. It's easy to get documents. And if you got money and status, you can get these fake documents. Yes. Yes, Karen. Bingo. Bingo. Absolutely. I think so too. Yo, I don't know why my chat's not doing that. I'm having to click on all of them. Hold on. Yeah, and remember that they made that alleged stop at the store or whatever, that gas station. I wonder if they ever got a, the video from there, allegedly. I do too, Karen. And Karen, you know what I think about that? I always wonder about that, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right or not, but I wonder, because they blamed a lot of stuff on Sebastian. It seemed like to me, in my opinion, and I wonder, because I always think this was pre-planned anyway, but I always wonder if that was the perfect thing to, like, they already had something on that computer, and so when the cops come, like, to talk to them or whatever, yada yada, or something, if that was the perfect time, maybe they had the porn or corn or whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to say it, whatever, or anything on theirs, if that was the perfect time to not get them in trouble because, they're self in trouble or something, because they could blame it on him for being on that computer. Do you get what I'm saying? And nobody would be the wiser, because if they thought it was theirs and them being an adult, they would go to jail anyway. Because either way it went, the cops was going to be at their house looking at the computer. Does that make sense? I always wondered that. Yes, yes. Bingo, bingo, bingo. I'm so glad you know what I'm saying. Woo! Because I always thought that. And I thought, yeah, that's all. I thought that. And I thought, what better way to blame it on somebody they didn't. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm saying, girl. We're on the same page there. I thought that from day one. You can even ask 1-800, because I said that to her on the phone one day in here. Well, a long time ago. I said, I bet they did that just because they could go ahead and get rid of that computer and they would not go to jail. I think they're all going to one day get what they deserve. That's just sad. But I don't know. I was just thinking about all this today, and I really, I just really wanted to touch on this. And I hope whatever happened to Sebastian, wherever he's at, and all the things, I hope that they find him soon. And I hope this, yes, Mohawk Mom, absolutely. Absolutely. But I just hope that they find him soon. And I hope Seth can get some relief and know what happened to his son. Yeah, they would have copied the computer. No, yeah, but what I'm saying, Mohawk, is like because they try to say Sebastian was there that night. Okay, so when Sebastian disappeared, if he had something on his computer, I'm just wondering if they're trying to, like, the owner of the computer, let me say it like that, had something bad on the computer, but then he could blame it on Sebastian, if you get my drift. Exactly. Yeah, he needs to piss or get off the pot. They need to do something. I just, I feel for Seth. And he's working on this law for Sebastian's law. And, he's really working hard behind the scenes. And, he's just trying to stay busy. And this has got to be really hard, really, really hard. And I feel for him. And I cannot imagine. I just can't. So, just, everybody just say prayers for Seth and prayers for Sebastian, and just, hope that he's found, and hope that justice comes soon and swift, and we don't keep having to wait longer, and Seth don't keep having to wait longer, because waiting, look, I can't have somebody tell me, look, I'm going to tell you something tomorrow. No, tell me now. Don't make me wait. So if that about kills me, then I can't imagine what Seth has gone through over his son for 16 months not knowing. I don't know, Mohawk. I really don't even know. I think they can go way back. Yeah. They can go way back. They can go back. They can get lots of stuff. Yeah. We know we know Summer and Sebastian. We love you anyway. You good. You good. But anyway, I guess I have kept y'all on here long enough, and I love y'all. Thank you for coming in here and spending some time with me. You could have been anywhere in the world. Oh my gosh. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here, though. And, I hope somebody learned something, because really, seriously, I'm serious. A lot of people don't know everything about trafficking. I still don't know everything about trafficking. I know it is horrible, and, we're not too old to learn. We're not too smart to learn. I say that all the time. I do want to thank Seth for sending me that video the other day, and then, getting my mind on thinking about, we do need to talk about trafficking, and, let people see as well how, how that happens. We need to talk about stuff like this more, because a lot of people don't know. They really don't. And it is important. It's important we get the education out there, for things like this. Thank you. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you, all my mods. Thank you, all my subs. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for Seth, if you're in here still. I don't know if you're in the bushes or not, but thank you, honey, for coming in. Thank you for everything, y'all. I love all of you. Just pray. Y'all get a good night's sleep. And I think I'm going to go to bed early. It's past my bedtime. I'm an old lady. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, Barbara, if you're still in here. Love you. Bye.